Connor McDavid gets robbed by Jonathan Quick, but did the refs get it right? I think they did. All today on In the Crease with Tommy C. That's right, big surprise, baby. None other than the myth, the legend, Mr. Jack Malay, sitting in for Dead on Dave, who's got some serious WWE duty. Welcome to the show, Mr. Jack Malay. First time on, hopefully not the last. What's happening, brother?
Glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this for all day.
Yeah, I know. I'm really excited to have you on because this is one thing we want to do. The next move is to get Dr. Deke on, get her in the chair, and then we're going to go. We got a lot of stuff, actually, probably a lot of media stuff that me and you like to talk without the Connor McDavid thing. But I just want to go, because YouTube makes you do this, supposedly, especially if you get a lot of hits and then you get flags and stuff like that. But we got to talk about what's in the headline. Connor McDavid, Jonathan Quick, did you see the play?
I did, and bottom line, I think the refs got it right.
Yeah, but the refs certainly did get it right. It's such a difficult thing with this stuff because more than likely that puck went over. I mean, let's face it. And there is a lot of talk about goal line technology. I want to ask you. I'm going to ask you in a minute what you think of that. It still was a spectacular play by Jonathan Quick. I'm not going to take anything away from him. But let's face it, more than likely. But the rule is just this simple. You can't see it. The cameras can't see it. The goalie gets the benefit of the doubt. And you got to remember, a lot of these rules were made at a time where it was just the ref's call. There was no war room. There's no nothing like that. So, inconclusive. That pretty much ends the conversation. Correct?
Yeah, I saw so many different replays, and I'm not 100% sure that, because when I first saw it, I thought, okay, logic would tell you that pucks crossed the line. But the way they make goalies' equipment, I'm not 100% sure with the way the webbing was in his glove. I mean, I know, but if you can't see it, how are you going to call it a goal?
How are you going to do it?
I think that's the bottom line.
I think that is a completely reasonable point. We don't know for a fact that it went over. He could have stopped it. He could have put his I guess his index, that fleshy thing in your index finger, and actually held the puck quite literally through the glove. That's actually a real good point. The rule's the rule. So anybody has a problem with rule, all right, yeah, the Edmonton lack of luck continues, whatever. It's going to be a long time before, even though they got this kid, and he may be the real deal Holyfield. But, I mean, it was a great effort by Quick to get over. I really don't think there's a lot to it. Other than this, goal line technology. What do you think? They do it in tennis. You and me are old farts when it comes to this stuff. Are you for something like that?
I don't know, man. You're for 3-on-3 overtime, or you think that's exciting? So I don't know how
ridiculous. Oh, then we got to argue, but no, go with this, and then we'll argue about that. I want to know what you have a problem with that.
I think at the end of the day, and we hear this all the time, people say they just want to get it right, just get the call right, and I can't imagine that here in 2015 they can't put some type of RFID chip in the puck and have some sensor in the goal, and the second that puck crosses the goal line, some light goes off and we know for a fact that it's a goal. Get rid of the goal judges. I just can't imagine that they don't have the technology to do this.
I'm absolutely sure they do. But it's an expense. It comes along with rule changes. Rule changes mean you have to go to the NHLPN. It's not as easy as just flipping a switch.
Right.
I see. Here's the thing with this stuff, and the same thing goes with the coach's challenge. It's like one of these things. It sounds good on the surface, but nobody likes to think. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park, chaos theory, all of the things that might come along with that might impede the game. I mean, 1999 is the best example. The worst season in National Hockey League history since I've been alive, with the foot in the crease world. I really do. I think it was worse. And as much as I bash Buffalo, and I mostly bash those dopey fans that root for overtime losses. I really don't bash Buffalo. I don't even hate the team all that much. What's the unforeseen circumstances? Now, I am a fan, and I didn't think I'd be a fan of hybrid icing. I think it's actually worked. Once the linesmen got used to it, it got worse. Less guys getting hurt. All for it. What does this mean? I mean, I couldn't get my show on yesterday because of a problem. What makes you think? What happens if the light doesn't go off, or what if we do need a goal judge? And how do we know the thing's zeroed correctly, to use a military M16 type reference that nobody knows except me and maybe Dave? But I wonder about the problems that might actually come from that. I mean, do you have any opinions on that?
Well, I mean, there's going to be some type of learning curve, I think, regardless. I don't know, try it out in the AHL for a year, something along those lines.
Yeah, didn't
See
work
what
last year.
happens. Maybe not replace the human aspect like a goal judge completely right off the bat, but I mean, people want to know if that puck crossed the line or not.
Yeah,
Last night
that's
with
true.
Connor McDavid and Jonathan Quick, and the human and elements and the video cameras aren't going to be able to determine that.
Yeah.
Only some type of technology is going to. But the second thing, the counter argument to that would be, well, did Jonathan Quick in fact make the save? Maybe I don't know. Maybe it crossed the line, but he still made the save. If that makes sense, like he still had possession of it, and the
Yeah,
referee
he
should
could
have
have been
blown
holding
it
it on the
dead.
line.
Or
That's very reasonable. I think that's actually good
yeah,
thinking. He very well could have done it, but the rule simply states this: if it's inconclusive, the tie goes to the runner. The
right,
benefit goes to the goalie.
yeah,
And I feel a little bit better about it because it was such a great effort by Quick to get over there. So it wasn't like I don't feel like McDavid got totally robbed. He
yeah.
probably got robbed more than likely, but we don't know that for a fact. And the rules are rules. All right, now I want to fight with you.
Rules
Three
are
on three
rules.
overtime. What is your problem with this? This is the.
I,
I mean,
to me, it's exciting.
yeah,
Yes, I agree completely. It's exciting. It's fun to watch. I just growing up, hockey's always been 5-on-5,
hmm
and 3-on-3 to me is like something you do on a Sunday afternoon with your friends playing street hockey or something like
sure.
that. It's not NHL hockey, and it's if you watch the Masters or something like that. If there's a tie at the end of 18 holes, they don't just go down to the driving range, fire 3 drives, and see who's can go the longest and call it a game.
I think I'd watch
It's
if they did that, but go
well,
ahead.
yeah, it probably would be way more exciting. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just, I mean, it's a gimmicky thing, but at least it's still contained to the regular season.
Mhm.
The second they start trying with overtime playoffs, then you'll really see a big shitstorm coming. But
Is that your fear? Is that your fear? Sort of a snowball effect argument that if this works in the regular season, that we will lose 5-on-4 overtime. I know there was a lot of fear of that after the 2004 season. A lot of people talked about that. It never happened. There's never been any leanings towards that. We hear these rumors after maybe a 3-4 period overtime or something like that, but it never actually happens. As time goes on, and maybe I'm being naive, as time goes on, I'm getting less and less afraid of that. And I got to be honest with you, 5-on-5, 4-on-4, 2-on-2, 1-on-1, or just goalies in a foot race from one end of the ice to the other. It's a gimmick. OT is a gimmick, no matter how you cut the cake. OT is a
yeah,
gimmick. It's never actually worked. Even in the 70s, it never worked. So why not, if you're gonna go this OT route, why not give you probably the closest thing that 5-on-5 playoff hockey gives you. And that's what I feel. I feel like I'm getting a playoff hockey. I'm excited. I mean, with 5-on-5, I was just like, it was just a precursor to a tie. With 4-on-4, it eventually became that way. And then, God
right.
forbid, they added the shootout, which ruined the penalty shot, which I used to think was the greatest thing in hockey. It's not. And not only that, I mind the shootout a lot less now. Now it's okay. It doesn't seem all that bad. I mean, it doesn't seem as
Yeah.
bad as it used to be. So if it's going to be a gimmick, and it is a gimmick. See, I think 5-on-5 is a gimmick. If you really want to do it the proper way, go back to the DM. I think it was in the 50s. Game's over, tied, bang. Do
Yeah.
you want? I
Well,
mean,
and
yeah.
honestly, I wouldn't have. I'm one of the rare people that wouldn't have a problem with that.
hmm
I it doesn't make the game any less exciting to me, whether it's 1-to-1 or you have an exciting game that's 5-2 or 1-to-1 and be a tie. It's just
This
I don't
doesn't
know
bother
that
you.
I know I'm in the minority in that, but to one of the things that annoys me is that just when does it end? At what point do we say these are the rules? I mean, hockey was it was hard enough to explain hockey to people in the mid '90s and early
Yeah, right.
2000s. Nowadays, with the new icing rules and we had the 2-line pass, we don't have the 2-line pass, the crease where the goalies can touch the puck in the trapezoid, the overtime, the shootouts. It's just it gets a little bit confusing, and there's so many little nuances to the rules and stuff. And then I look at a sport like soccer,
hmm
same rules for 150 years, nothing's changed. Well, with relatively close, but to me, it's just at what point does it stop? What point do we just take what we got, say this is hockey, this is our sport, and let's go with it? And how often do we keep changing things up?
Can I propose to you that at least since I've been alive,
Uh huh.
since the mid 70s, never. I think they've made. I don't think hockey's sort of like baseball, where the only thing they really do is kind of bring the mound up and bring the mound down over the years, depending if the pitchers or the hitters have an advantage. One might argue that soccer. I mean, the soccer shootout is 10 times more disgusting than the hockey shootout. I mean, it's
Yeah.
repulsive. It's quite literally a coin flip. And even before the technology, the new boots, and the fact that these guys kick the damn ball so hard. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just like, I mean, it's come to the point where I know when a goalie makes a save, it's just blind luck. So
Yeah.
I mean, one could argue that maybe it would be better if they would actually change, but I don't know. I can't remember. It seems like every season that I remember, except like in maybe the early '80s, the mid '80s, when when I'm about 10 years old, I'm starting to remember stuff.
Uh-huh.
From about 1988 to, I don't. There's always the major rule change every year. We always talk about the
There
two
is.
years
Yeah.
ago. It just. I think that might be a part of hockey in itself. And I understand what you said. Why don't we get some clarity in the thing? But I always wondered if a hockey is, and I know Canadians are going to really hate when I say this. It's a game in its infancy, even still, and it's still. We're going to get to that point, but I think me and you are going to be a lot older, and maybe 3-on-3 is that
Yeah.
point. Maybe this is it. You know.
Yeah. And the thing about 3-on-3 too, I
Mhm.
think it's exciting now.
Yeah.
It's not going to take long for someone like, a Ken Hitchcock or a Guy Boucher to find out how to just completely shut down 3-on-3. And I can imagine, there's a
Do you
bunch of
really
different
think that's
scenarios
possible with
where
that ice out there? See, you played longer than I did, and you played at a higher level than I did. So I definitely respect your opinion. But I can't see it. Somebody who played a lot of inline hockey, and a 3-on-2 was a legitimate power play. I don't think there's
yeah.
any way to stop it unless it could, because even if you play with all three skaters back, even if you do something like that, you still, I mean, if you mishandle the puck, it's automatically a breakaway or a 2-on-1.
Right.
So is that possible? Um,
Well, the
it-
scenario that popped in my head, so you're playing against a team that needs 2 points, the last day of the regular season to make the playoffs, and you're playing against a team that's already in or something along those lines. I don't know. This is getting crazy, like,
yeah, yeah. No,
conspiracy theory
just go
stuff.
go
But
ahead. Go with your
y-
conspiracy. It doesn't matter.
you can in 3-on-3. There's so much space. You can have the defensemen just passing back and forth, and we saw the
Soccer.
the Flyers do that a couple years ago against the Lightning. I don't think teams are above, worrying about themselves and just killing the clock out in overtime and
No,
maybe
I don't
taking
think
it to
so
a
either.
shoutout. But it's whatever. It's
Well,
exciting
that's
right
a
now.
really,
It
yeah.
is
That
exciting. I just get worried that at what point, how often do we have to keep changing things up before we just say, this is the sport of hockey, this is what it is,
Mhm.
and either take it or leave it?
That's a really good point. And from a soccer perspective, you set up a triangle. But I mean,
Hmm.
hockey's not like football. You don't have as much time to fiddle. I mean, you can't put your foot in the puck and then wait and pass. But I could maybe a triangle and just passing it back and forth from the forwards defenseman in the neutral zone.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a little dangerous because if somebody gets a poke check in, I mean, that's a two
yeah.
on one. But
I'm telling you, some
you think
coach out
so?
there is gonna
You might
find
be right.
some way to fuck the whole thing up with some crazy
Yeah, right.
defensive scheme. It's just a matter of time.
Really? Well,
Because 4-on-4 was great at the beginning too, and then
very early.
quickly
Yeah.
people found out that didn't always work out. So
Yeah, you just designate a center as a wing, one of the wings as a center, and then you only have one forechecker, and basically nobody scores.
right,
Um, all right, well you put a much better argument up than I actually thought you would. I think that's a really good point because
I'll
it's
take that
steeped.
as a compliment.
Well, no, I thought I had you dead to rights, and I come here to win, Malay. Don't get it any other.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. No, I think you may have even beat me. So enjoy it because I'll never admit that again. No, I God, I hope you're wrong. I could see a scenario because both teams have a point where somebody tries something like that late in the season. I don't think they're certainly not going to
Right.
do it now. It's no point. You
No,
might as well
yeah,
go for the
yeah.
two. I don't see a scenario like that this early, but I do think I could see John Tortorello if he needed. Um, but see, you already have the point. Oh, if he needed to keep a certain team out of the playoffs, that would be interesting. I
Yeah,
mean,
or just
yeah,
even
maybe
I don't know.
I don't know. It's complicated. Do you just Just go and hit back and forth. All right, let's say hello to the chat. Real Talk Metaphor Messiah, team member Frenchie Ben. Roy in Florida. Who's Jack Malay?
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. How could you not know? That's terrible. Patrick Glenn in South Jersey. Pittsburgh boy, who's probably not happy with the, not happy at all with the damn, with the Phil Kessel thing. He says to me, I think he said to me it was offline or maybe on a Dave show. He's like, I can't believe that this Kessel thing's not working. I just thought they would just hit it off. And I guess most people did, but you never count out Phil Kessel's attitude to screw up silly everything else. I also want to show everybody, I got pictures from the Rangers-Flyers game. I love when you guys do this. Send me in stuff from around the league, your local hockey stuff. Roy sent me stuff in with his kid. I like pictures of hockey. I wish I was like an artist. I would paint pictures of hockey. I just like the way it looks. It's appealing to me. Even photographs. So you can see here in Philadelphia. Oh, what the hell are you gonna think? Well, I'd call it the Spectrum because I actually was in the Spectrum when I was a kid. But this is pictures of the a really great game. It was a what is it? The Hockey Fights Cancers night in Philadelphia. You see the Flyers Hall of Fame. These pictures are both from Mr. Patrick Glenn and Sean Bonner of Philadelphia, and I want you to check these out. But I like doing this stuff. I like showing this stuff off. I like pictures of hockey, even like kids playing, which I guess in today's world sounds fucking creepy and weird. But I do. I like watching hockey. I do. I wish I... you look like a coach to me. Do you coach?
No, that's way too much time.
Yeah,
that's way too much time.
I would do it if I could. I would do it if I could. Well, I mean, let's talk about your book for a little bit. Actually, I want to talk because you seem more interesting than anything I got on the list here. You wrote a book recently, correct?
I did. It was my summer project since not a whole lot's going on during the summertime once you get past the free agent signings and stuff. Mm-hmm. I decided the time I would spend making a 3-minute video, I would put that towards putting some thoughts together about how I grew up playing. So, yeah.
What level did you get to, if you don't mind me asking?
I never played professionally or anything. I never played on a junior team or anything like that. I just, I worked at an ice skating rink years ago when I first got out of high school for about 4 years. And there was a minor hockey league AHL team that would practice in our rink. So I got to know quite a few players and coaches and that, moved up to the ladders to the NHL. And I was on the ice 3-4 days a week. And it was a blast, man.
Good stuff. So so the store basically consists of your dealings at the ice rink, being a rink rat and what have you. I'm trying to sell your book, Malay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sell your book.
It's a highly entertaining book. It's filled with nonstop action and great quotes, and everyone should go out and buy it right now.
What's the name of it, buddy?
From Bantam to Beer League. It's on Amazon. I link it below in every single video that I do. And Dr. Deke edited it, so there's no grammatical errors.
I'm sure there isn't. Actually, I really trust her. Yeah, I really trust her. That was really cool that you guys teamed up. Pat in South Jersey on the air. What's happening? What's on your mind?
I finally have my voice back, Tommy.
You never had your voice to begin with, Mickey. Go ahead.
Oh, shut up.
Okay, do you like the game? Hey, Tommy, we beat your team. The Rangers suck. Go ahead, Pat.
Man, that game was fun.
It was a great game. Great game.
Even
the shootout really was good. Game. That move that, I don't like seeing Lundqvist getting juked out of his socks too often, but he's going to get juked by clubs.
I don't know if
I'll watch that any day of the week.
Most of the crowd, when he got juked both times, they were chanting, "You got shook."
Yeah, he did get shook. I ain't gonna lie. It's so bizarre because I think he was the better of the two goalies, even though Steve Mason played tremendous in that game. I thought he was the better of the two goalies. It was just bizarre that he just got, tied in a knot by Giroux and, I can't remember, not Voracek. What's his face? Gagne. What's on your mind, man?
Not much. Just thank you for showing them pictures. I wanted
Sure. I love that stuff. I'm serious. I love when people say it.
You didn't show the picture of the two Canadians fans that got lost.
Oh, I didn't get that one. No, I didn't load the video either.
The two Canadians fans that were at the game, they were down by the Flyers Zamboni entrance. I sent that to you. I thought I sent it to these guys.
What, the Habs? Why are we here for the Ranger game? We paid for the Habs. We bought these tickets.
My friend that I went to the game with, he says, "Well, maybe they'll come out later." We got the wrong night.
Maybe they come out. He's Frenchy Ben.
We were driving home from the game, and I said, "What if those two Canadians fans are still there?" My friend goes, "Oh, they're probably still there." I said, "Where are the Canadians?"
Let's walk west. Let's walk west down Broad Street.
There was a really cool moment that happened in that game before the third period ended and before the overtime started. There was this little girl dressed as Batman, and they put her on the screen, and the whole crowd, even the Rangers fans, went nuts.
Oh, really?
And when they took her off the screen, everybody booed, and we started chanting, "We want Batman," so they put her back on there. And I got it.
I'm surprised,
really cool.
with you lousy Philadelphia fans, I'm surprised you didn't boo that kid. You guys blew Santa Claus. I was at a goddamn Spectrum game in 1996. It was Rangers Flyers. Eric Lindros was there. Jean Leclerc was there, even though he's American. And some kid misshoot the puck, and you bastards booed him, and he couldn't have been older than my 7-year-old daughter. What's the matter with you people?
Oh, come on. Not all of us are like that.
Yeah,
And most of the Rangers fans I talk to, I wish them good luck on the game, and they're like that. And they're like, look, you Philadelphia fans are assholes. You're not an asshole. I'm like, not all of us are like that.
Really?
Some of us just enjoy, but it's a totally different animal watching
Look at Pat. I'm breaking steroids. Philadelphia has a big heart, and we are the city of brotherly love. Give me a fucking break, man. I'm from Jersey.
Dude,
you guys are pricks.
I'm from Jersey. We're
I know. You're
South
Jersey. It's like another country. That's not really New Jersey.
But on the 3-on-3 overtime, I want to get the two things here: the 3-on-3 overtime and the Raffle thing.
Yeah.
Seeing the 3-on-3 overtime is a totally different animal than it is on TV than seeing it up close.
It's not as good, or
it's heart pounding, and it's a lot better.
Yeah.
It's a lot better. They gave us these rally towels for the Hockey Fights Cancer stuff. Half the people were biting on them. I was biting on it. It's very heart pounding, and it gets you. It's exciting.
All right. Well, you put your vote in. You like it. All right, Pat. I gotta let you go. I'm gonna finish this sucker up.
2-1.
What's that? Well, yeah. I mean, but you even admitted you like it right now. I think the issue is down the road, which I think is a perfectly good point. I think you may have won the argument. Dave will never win an argument. Maybe I'll just throw you a bone. Thanks a lot,
you want me
Pat.
to get to what happened, what the crowd was doing when Raffle got hurt?
Oh, yeah. Go over that real quick. What happened? Because that looked frightening
most of us weren't even paying attention to the bench because we were all pissed off at the ticky-tack call that was called on Voracek.
Oh, it wasn't even a ticky-tack call. It was just a bad call. I saw it.
Yeah, we were like, where the hell was
did
he
not
holding
wrap his arms around him.
That?
He had his hands around his belly, and he pushed. And it's unbelievable. Yeah. And that's why I knew they were going to pull back that goal, because I knew that ref was a dope. But go ahead.
But once that happened, and then we saw the glove come flying on the ice, we thought, everybody in my section thought it was the backup goaltender.
So did me and Andy on TV, strangely enough. But go ahead.
But, we didn't know what was going on. We saw Raffle somebody getting carried off, and then thankfully I had my smartphone with me, and I turned on the radio Flyers broadcast, and that's like 20 seconds behind everything. So like in 20 seconds, they explained like what was going on, one of the Flyers, and then afterwards during the intermission, they were like, Raffle's out with an upper body injury.
They barely talked about it on MSG because I'm a homer and I watch my own broadcast. So it was just really frightening, and I hope they checked him out because look, you can get hit in the head sometimes not even hard, and it could just mess you up. But I hope they actually they take a second or third look at him because that was bizarre.
Yeah, but it was scary because the first thing everybody thought about, and like everybody in my section said, Rich Peverly.
Yeah. That's the way it felt.
That's the first thing everybody thought about when we saw the glove come on the ice. We're thinking, oh shit.
That's a good point. All right.
Thanks
Tommy, thanks a lot, Pat. I gotta get out of here.
Pictures, man, and if I go to another game, I'll send you more.
Everybody, send me pictures. Thanks, Pat. Thanks for the call. Send me pictures. I like that stuff. I like hockey stuff. I like to look at hockey stuff. It's very, very, very fun for me. It's neato, mosquito. Let's see what else we got. Let's fight. Me and you fight. Now I got here somebody to fight with. North Dakota, I guess NCAA Division I, the Fighting Sioux. They got to change their nickname because
really?
it's an
Why is that?
It's an American Indian name. Some of the names are Fighting Hawks, Rough Riders, or Nordax or Nodax, which sounds like an Indian name too. I got to be honest with you. I'm not going to get into the debate with you on what name's racist, what name's not racist, and I really think this is leading to coming after our helicopters in the military. I think that's eventually because if you didn't know it, most American military helicopters are named Chinook, Black Hawk, things of that nature, and I think they're building towards that. Here's the thing that gets me, because all I see is a bunch of friggin' white hipsters bitching about stuff like this. I don't see too many friggin' I don't see. Don't they worry? I mean, look. the reason, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to debate whether Redskins is a nice word or not a nice word, but fighting Sioux, it doesn't seem a lot different than fighting Irish.
Right.
I'm an Irish American. I don't have a problem with that. What does that lead you to believe? It means we're all drunks. Now I know that's
Yeah.
silly, and I know it's based on a stereotype. Now you take fighting Sioux Indians. We're fierce warriors, and we name our helicopters after our respected enemy, the enemy we respected, the people that we mistreated. Aren't the Indian communities a little worried if we get rid of all these Indian names, that they'll just be kind of forgotten as great warriors, as people that stood up for their land? I mean, that's the way I look at it. I think the racism argument is just BS. And I think
Yeah.
if we just get rid of it and start renaming everything, well, who's going to remember the Indians and their stands against, the Union Army or the American Army? I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I don't know, man. When it comes to those stuff, I don't get easily offended like
Mhm.
some people do in
Yeah.
today's society, I guess. I don't know. We'll get philosophical here. I don't think that like words, objects, pictures, they don't have any meaning unless you give it a meaning. So I can look at a rectangle with some stars and some stripes on it and the Confederate flag, and someone can be offended by that. I look at it, and to me it's just a rectangle with some stars.
Yeah,
I don't care. So to me it's I don't know.
It just doesn't do anything. I got to be honest with you. I think American Indian history is American history, and I think things like the Fighting Sioux, the Black Hawk helicopter, the Blackhawks. I know there's like more of an argument with the Redskins, but that's not our league.
Yeah.
I think are we going to forget about? And I'm not saying forget about the crimes that were committed towards the Indians, and Indians committed plenty of crimes towards settlers too. So it really did go.
It's going to come down to like the Mighty Ducks, where every team is just going to be like Red 5 or District 3 or something like that.
Why not call the Rangers because there's a lot of police beatings. Why don't we get rid of the Rangers, because the Rangers are references to police officers? I mean, we could really take this extremely far, and I don't think no, that'll never happen. Let me tell you something. I never thought they'd get rid of the Fighting Sioux in North Dakota. Pure Pustinen in Finland. What's on your mind, brother?
Have you talked about the Ducks yet?
They suck. I know that.
They suck and they can't score goals.
I know.
Yager's got more goals than they do. But go ahead.
I shared that pick. I think they're going to fire Boudreaux straight after they get a chance on Claude Julien.
Really? What do you think about Julien going over to there? Do you think he can make an impact, or is this even Boudreaux's fault at this stage? What do you think? I mean, this is a team that was in the Western Conference Final, a team that had Chicago on the ropes. Is it really? Should they just ride this out, or should they bring in a guy like Claude Julien? What do you think?
I think they should. I don't think the players anymore listen to Boudreaux after that Silani rant on the book.
You think that had something to do with it? You really think?
Yeah. They're talking about Carlisle replacing him, and I don't see that changing anything. I see Julien up there.
No kidding. They might change the character of the team, because Julien. That is pretty interesting. So all right. So what do you think?
What's Claude Julien gonna do differently from Bruce Boudreaux?
More possession, maybe brutal. Maybe bring up a guy that's tougher. I don't know.
I saw their game against Nashville the other night, and Corey Perry had about 5 chances on the doorstep where he just couldn't bury it. I mean, I don't call it bad luck, call it beginning of the season, whatever. I just don't see how changing the coach at this point is going to do anything for them. A team as talented as the Ducks.
Yeah, that's no kid. That's a good point.
That's the thing that bothers me the most. They have so much talent. I didn't see the window closing yet, so they gotta get over the slump and have a big winning streak, or change something.
Sometimes
tonight's the night to do that too. They're playing the Blackhawks, so.
But Jack makes a good point. I mean, we always like to go. I mean, because it works a lot. You get a new voice in the locker room. Everybody gets a foot in their ass. Everybody starts running around.
It's easier. It's easier than trading your superstars away.
But that may be the problem. The chemistry of the team might not be right. I would wonder if there's any kind of, I don't know, is somebody sleeping with somebody's girlfriend over there? That's what I think when stuff like this happens. I'm sorry. That's the way I think. I look at this psychologically. And nobody likes anybody sleeping with their girlfriend if you have to get changed next to that guy later. Just my experience. But yeah, it is the Pure's right because you're a smart kid. It is the easy thing to do. But I mean, this team, like I said, Eastern Conference Final. It's not much different of a team. This team is consistently good in the regular season for the past 5 years. They won a Stanley Cup not all that long ago in 2000. Well, God, it's 9 years ago now. But I mean, there's still a part of this team that is a Cup winner. I mean, there's Cup experience. Is it just as simple as bringing somebody new in? Is that a cop out? Is that a cop out?
I don't know. From what I saw, like I said against the Nashville game, to me it looks like the effort's there. It's just someone needs to just step up and start burying these, and it has to come down to Getzlaf and Perry.
Pure, what did you think?
I think Julian should be also brought in by the playoff things. Boudreaux is not very good on the playoffs.
No, he's not. Well, I think that could be another reason to get rid of him too. Maybe they should have got rid of him over the summer because this situation is not going to change.
Yeah.
That's a good.
And last year it was pretty much Silver show when Silverberg brought up hell of a lot of points in the playoffs for them.
That's true. That's true. All right, Pierre, I got to let you go. Your mic's going on you a little bit, but thank you for the call, brother.
I know.
Take care.
It's almost broken.
All right, get a new one. They make microphones in Finland, or just they made out of ice?
Just buy it.
Yeah.
Japanese.
All right, Pierre, take care, brother. Oh, jeez. Now I'm gonna get. I'm really. I don't know why I'm getting so many calls tonight. It's so bizarre. I got to put Roy on. See what he has to do. Roy in Florida, what's on your mind, brother?
So what's the deal with Jack here? Does he like the Bruins?
No, he doesn't like. He doesn't reveal his team. He wants to see him impartial. But if you give him 500 subs, which
We're
you're
very
not too
close too.
Yeah, if you get him 500 subs, I mean, he's on my main page. I've been telling everybody this guy's great for months.
Did this guy do a show with a paper bag on his head?
I did.
I never did paper bag.
Was that him?
Jack, was that you?
Him?
Never done paper bag, my friend.
He did.
Oh, that wasn't you. That was somebody else.
He used to have really long hair and aviator sunglasses, and he'd run around the street all crazy like. He did that.
Right.
Scaring children.
All right, and the other thing, what are you guys talking about Claude Julien? He's with the Bruins for the rest
not
of the
much
season.
longer.
Huh?
Not much longer. I think
You're
Pierre
saying
was,
not much. What do you mean not much? They said he's good for the whole season.
if they lose 5-10 in a row, that's what.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Pierre was speculating.
Okay,
Or maybe he meant
Coyotes
Randy
coming up.
Carlisle. They look alike. They both look like the guy who just missed the part for the Fantastic Four is the Thing. I mean, maybe you're right. They I mean, I don't know. I thought Pierre was speculating, thinking that Julian's going to get canned. That's the way I took it.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
I thought you knew something like
No,
I didn't
no.
know.
Yeah, we
I'm
don't-
like, where
Look
the
at
hell was I this morning?
Look at
Like,
me and Jack. We don't know anything. We're just on YouTube,
No.
man.
How long's Julian been there? Since 06, 07?
05, I think, right?
05?
06, yeah, 06.
yeah, it's
No,
05.
07, yeah. It's been a long time.
I think if a coach has ever worn out his voice in the locker room, it's probably going to
decade.
come down to Julian. So it wouldn't surprise me if
Come on, why?
eventually.
Why? Why?
Because these players are paid so much money, they don't I
Yeah.
don't got to listen to that asshole. That's why, Roy.
Every
You're one of
coach
these,
has
you're
a
like
shelf
me,
life.
Roy. You don't like change. Mark Messier could still be in a Ranger uniform if you ask me. I wouldn't have a problem with it. Damn guys, Dave, you're 60 years old. I just want to see number 11 with the captaincy. I am still not used to. Callahan finally, I grew on me. I'm not even so sure about McDonough at this point. It's weird for me. I like seeing number 11 Mark Messier on there, and I think you're the same way. And I got news for you. They're going to trade the little French ball of hate, whatever his name is, and they're more than likely going to get rid of Char too, because now is probably the only time you're going to get any value for him. If this guy gets any older, they probably couldn't get rid of him if they wanted to. So I think you're seeing some changes. If they keep winning, it's going to be harder to justify it. There has been times during the season, this early season, where they have looked very good. I don't get the impression that it's the Bruins. It's a lack of effort. Certainly, they're a very tough team, and they're not quitters. But I just I don't know. I think you're going to struggle to make the playoffs. I'm sticking to my original prediction, Roy.
Okay.
No,
So
I'd be
is
happily
Jack
wrong.
from Canada?
What's that? What about Canada?
No,
He lives in Canada?
No.
No.
He lives in
That's
parts
why
unknown.
I have all 5 of my, 5 fingers on each hand. I'm not Canadian.
Oh, okay.
Jack he's very secretive. You know what I mean?
Very secretive.
He's like
Yeah.
He was going to use a monkey with glasses on, but he changed his mind and he decided to go with aviator glasses.
I saw that thing against Lundqvist the other night you were talking about, man. That was so crazy. It looked so simple, like, holy cow, did that just happen?
Which Lundqvist? Because he's been Lundqvist is off to it.
In
Price.
In the shootout.
Oh yeah, he got his jock. That was. I mean, Giroux just ate him
Oh
alive.
man, that was something.
Yeah, that's one thing, and that's one thing I like about the 3-on-3 overtime. It actually makes the shootout a little more rare and slightly more exciting. All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Take care. See you tomorrow. That's Roy in Florida. Hey, we got the whole gambit of people calling today.
Yeah.
And
Popular guy.
Yeah, you did a really good job. I'm quite impressed. So let me go over some quick headlines for you. Evander Kane out 4 to 6 weeks with an MCL injury. Boy, that injuries keep piling up in Buffalo. Jesus.
Yeah, they do.
More injury news. Mike Green out up to 3 weeks with an upper body injury, which could mean I love when they. I still like 5-10 years later. I still think saying upper body injury is funny. I don't know what it is. It's very funny to me.
Yeah.
Nashville Predators they lock up Matthias Alkholm, Swedish national, for 6 years, $22.5 million. Boy, where do they get all that money down there? That's kind of bizarre, right?
Country music money.
Yeah. Actually, they still say they have the best recording studios in the world over there. You know that?
Yeah.
It's if it doesn't matter if you're a rock band or a heavy metal band or anything of that nature, you're still better off going that route.
It's a fantastic city.
It is. Have you been there?
I have, and I tell you what, even the karaoke bars, the people that sing at the karaoke bars, you would think they're like professional singers. It's incredible. It's a great
like
city.
LA. There's a million talented actors out there.
Yeah, they're dime a dozen.
Singers. Oh, that's really good stuff. All right, let me tell you, we can finish my headlines right here. Mikhail Rafi. We couldn't decide if his name, he's from Austria, but we couldn't decide if his name's really actually Raffle. It definitely doesn't sound very German-ish. He's feeling fine after his collapse. He is expected to play tomorrow. So good luck to Michael Raffle. Hope that was some spooky stuff if you watch that game. Here's some more spooky stuff. Ryan Johansson undergoing tests for late game fatigue. Boy, it couldn't be getting worse for that team. And the thing that's spooky about that stuff, when young guys start getting sick like that or tired like that, they're in such good a shape. You got to wonder if it's something else. So, oh boy, it's a little bit spooky there, Jack.
Yeah. Some people thought Torts was just pushing him too hard, but they said it wasn't related to any type of heart problems or anything.
Oh,
so that's good.
So you're actually ahead of me on this story. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, last night in the National Hockey League, the New York Rangers took on the Calgary Flames. Boy, they're really disappointing, huh? Flames. You and me hate advanced stats. You should be rooting for the Flames. You know that, Malay.
What a joke. That's a whole show in itself.
Yeah, it is. We got to get back and do that. You should come on and fight me more often. I want to fight. I need some fight. You know what it is? Me and Dave talk all day, so we generally come to a consensus about a lot. Not that Dave's ever giving in, because he doesn't, but we come to a consensus about stuff during the day, and then I sound too agreeable. So maybe I need somebody to come on to shake things up and yell at me. So New York Rangers beat the Calgary Flames in New York 4-1. Minnesota North Stars were in Winnipeg, but they couldn't get it done. Winnipeg getting the late goal. I forgot by who because I didn't write it down, but Winnipeg overtakes the Minnesota North Stars and Devin Dubnyk. Los Angeles Kings, as you saw at the top of the show, didn't I stepped on my words. Los Angeles Kings, they hold over the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid gets robbed by Jonathan Quick. But there's a lot of controversy, and maybe it'll end in, goal line technology. That's what we're going to be looking at, right, Jack?
We hope so.
Hey,
just
listen,
get the call right.
Really appreciate you being here. You did a really great job, brother.
Thanks, man. I'll be back whenever you need me.
All right, and you know what? Get out of my creek!